something with that mutt, Henry. It's doing my head in. Call that dog, Henry. Who the hell can listen to
You'll
that?
get nothing from me.
Come here. What's all the fuss about, Mutt? Are you that hungry? All right, I'll see what I can get for you.
Well, hoorah!
Listen, would you have some scraps for a Mutt?
That's a good one. He already gobbled up a piece of venison while I was having a piss. I've got one last sausage and I'll be saving that for the way back. Look, Henry, I'm fond of that beast, but you ought to keep him under control.
Come on, Oates. We'll get to Trotsky tomorrow, and there'll be plenty of food there. We're a noble's escort, so they're obliged to feed us well. Pheasant in wine, roast pork with apples. Those sausages of yours are only fit for a dog anyway.
For Christ's sake, stop giving me a hard time. I'll have you know that sausage is fucking good. But neither you nor your dog will get to taste it.
Wouldn't you swap it for something?
I might. Tankard has my ring. I lost it to him at dice, and if I go home without it, my old woman will send me right back. If you can get it back, I'll be glad to give you that sausage.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
Come on, Conrad.
What?
Let's throw a few dice.
I see you've got dice set up. Want a game?
Sure. How's about spicing it up with a little wager?
I heard you won a ring off Oates. Want to bet that?
Fortune favours the brave, lad. But if you lose, you'll pay for everything I order in the tavern in Trotsky. All right? I hope Lady Luck will be on my side. That's enough for me. Your turn. Ha ha! If I threw like that, I wouldn't play at all. Here. Aye, that'll do. Oh, come on! My God! Oh, come on! Let it be now. I want to play too, you know? That's still all right. It'd be worse if you already had 3 ones. Here. No, that's as far as I go. If I was you, I'd take it. Well, you're not afraid of anything. Aye, that'll do. Oh, come on! Can't be. Damn your eyes. You played well. What's to be done? A bet is a bet. Here's your ring. Come on, Conrad.
What?
Let's throw a few.
It seems Tankard can't tell a 5 from a 6. I won that ring off him.
You beat the bastard. Ha! You're a dab hand, Henry. Thanks. Will you give it to me? If I go home without it, the old woman will break her broom over my back.
What will you give me for it?
Well, all I've got here is some grub. Want a sausage? It's venison.
All right. And enough games. You won't easily find another mug who'll exchange a ring for a sausage.
Yeah. True enough.
Hey, Conrad, one little game, eh?
Leave me alone.
Look what I have for you.
I know you only too well. It's all one little game. One little game. And then you go and take my last groschen.
Henry, oh, that was a tight thing with the captain, eh?
I got the feeling you'd lost your tongue.
Just for a moment. But true enough. That bastard surprised me a bit.
Well, that's what I'm here for. To deal with that kind of stuff.
And I must say, that was pretty good for your first action as leader of my bodyguard. Let's see if you keep it up. But we managed the situation all right in the end. He even apologized to us. If Hanosh had seen it. Maybe he'd finally stop treating me like a child, eh?
Well, I don't know. When I look at you, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Kiss my arse. And by the way, since you're here, how about stretching our limbs a bit? After that long journey. With a bit of swordplay.
You're in the mood for that after riding so long?
Certainly. So then, eh?
All right then. Just a bit of swordplay for the hell of it? Or shall we have a wager?
Let's save the wagers for later.
Oh, you afraid?
Keep the biting remarks to yourself. You've got armor on, so just grab your helmet. Here's a practice sword for you. Have that ready too.
Rocket, tankard! Stop with that! Your whistling is getting on my fucking nerves the whole way. Leave it off.
So, should we start?
Ready? Let's start. Draw your sword.
Hang on. Let's get warmed up. I'll attack you a few times. You defend.
Go ahead. Impress me. Is that the best you've got? I didn't even work up a sweat.
Oh, you will soon enough. A foe in plate armor has to be worn down.
Let's see it then. Attack properly now. A longer sequence. Enough!
Now you're warmed up, eh?
Yeah. But you're pretty winded yourself. While you're attacking, you still have to take care you have strength left to defend.
Save the advice and try it yourself.
Gladly. On guard. What are you doing? Cover! Nice. That's the way. Good. Good. Why don't you cover yourself? Good.
That's enough. No one's ever won a duel just by blocking. You've got to make an opening to strike back. And you do that by means of a perfect block.
Perfect block, eh? You've become a real swordsman.
Start your attack then.
That's it. You're doing great, Henry. Nice. But what about a riposte? Reckon you can manage that?
Why wouldn't I? Nothing to it. I just follow up a perfect block immediately with a strike. I'll show you.
Get ready. After covering, you have to strike straight away. Nice. Good, Henry. Well, you're not as good as Captain Bernard, but that wasn't bad.
Be sure to remember, if someone gives you a riposte, you can still fend it off with a perfect block. And it's best to follow up right away with your own riposte.
Yeah, right. But what if I want to attack in such a way that you can't make a perfect block?
Then it's best to attack at a spot where your opponent isn't covered. Where he's not holding his weapon. You defend, and I'll show you how.
All right, come on then. Well, that's not what you meant to do, is it? Don't hack at my sword. Strike somewhere else. Oh, nice, Henry. Nice. All right. I get it. For Christ's sake. Enough demonstrations and explanations.
Let's have one training duel to finish up, eh?
Indeed. And let's have a wager to spice things up. How about 100 groschen?
100? How about 200? Are you feeling confident or not?
Fine, 200. On guard.
Now that's what I call...
Your first hit.
Nice block.
Ow! Kurwa! Fuck me!
Right on the head.
Ow! Kurwa!
How did he do that? Come on, Henry.
How do you do it?
That must have hurt. Don't you think it's healed?
Fuck me!
Go for it. One more
Fuck
like
me.
that, he'll be on his back.
You knocked the stuffing out of me. I yield! Enough! Oh, for fuck's sake, you're unstoppable! Oh, you won the bet, fair and square. I'll settle with you when we get to Trotsky. Now let's go and eat. That swordplay gave me quite an appetite.
So who won, gentlemen?
It seems this isn't my day. I knew I shouldn't have bet with you. You've improved since that last time in Ratai.
I won back then too, as I recall. You had to give me your bow.
You were unbelievably lucky, beating me after just one day of training. True, I wasn't in my best form that day. We had a drink or two beforehand.
Oats? What's this food supposed to be?
What's left of our supplies? Tomorrow we'll be at the castle, and we'll get some decent grub.
If you told us earlier, I could have shot a hare. And you could have cooked it like they did in the tavern the day before yesterday.
That tavern where you drank away all your coin?
Ha! You've got to have some fun.
And then you tried it on with the innkeeper's daughter when you were shit-faced.
She was pretty. A real peach. Admit it.
Only a fella was there.
And I had to drag you out of that tavern before everyone pounced on us.
And he had his work cut out. You wasn't having it much.
Now, if you was able to court the lasses like me, maybe she wouldn't have started screeching.
I can't say I'm surprised. Just imagine it, fellas. You're a fair maiden. Your lovely locks falling on your shoulders. No thought of wickedness. And then Tankard's fat head appears before you with his crooked mouth. And he says, "Where's the shit, oh my pretty?"
I've got nothing to regret. The whole world turns around wenches. Ain't that right, Henry? You never gave us the goods on that lass of yours. What was her name now?
Teresa. She lived with that crook Peshek at the mill.
And she saved my life.
A brave girl.
Aye. She's a fine lass. And? Is she any good? Like, is she any good? Get me?
She's my sweetheart. And that's all I'll tell you.
Ah, don't be such a monk. Out with it.
Ah, forget it, you horny goat. This discussion is over.
You know, this travelling isn't too bad.
Apart from the mosquitoes.
Aye. Apart from them.
Where were you yesterday evening, Henry? You were late for supper. That's not what I call watching over our lord.
Hey, don't make trouble.
In the camp, with you lot. It was Conrad's turn to gather wood, and I wasn't hungry yet. So I stretched out for a bit by the horses.
Oh, yeah? Where? You didn't see him?
I was going for wood.
It was getting dark. I reckon he just overlooked me.
You gave me a nasty shock when you came out of the darkness. You're as quiet as a mouse, and that's the truth.
And what about, time, sir? I mean, will we be getting any time off, sir?
It depends. Once von Berghoff hears us out, we should set off back home immediately.
What? Straight back on the road?
Well, we could stay a day or two, perhaps.
Does anyone know anything more about von Berghoff?
Only what Sir Hans told us, that von Berghoff is a big cheese in the royal court. That's why we're going to negotiate an alliance with him.
You summed that up nicely. But yes, that's how it is. He's the royal chamberlain. You fellas will never meet a more important noble than him.
I heard he insists on having the finest swords. And that he's got a big collection of all kinds of swords and daggers.
Collecting them ain't the same as knowing how to use them.
And is he any good at sword fighting? It ain't nothing easy to learn.
The sword is the weapon of a master. Balanced, fast, and suitable for all situations. Of course, you have to train with it and try to improve your technique, but the result is worth it.
Aye, I get it. It was just a training fight. Pardon me.
Oh, swords, swords, swords. No doubt you're going to tell us again how the perfidious Istvan Toth stole your sword. And I thought you'd come round to thinking about other things.
That sword is the only reminder I had of Pa. We forged it together, just before he was slain. But that's another matter. I suppose you've heard enough of that, eh?
Well, you know.
Ah, it's all right.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in Istvan's shoes if you ever come face to face with him again.
What? So Radzig ain't dead, though?
Enough, enough. Otherwise we'll be here for hours again hearing how Martin the Smith raised him even though Radzig is his real father. It's complicated, and let's leave it at that. No offense.
Who'll help me tomorrow with getting supplies for the journey back?
We rolled dice for it, and I won, so Conrad goes.
What are you on about?
Enough. Oath, you're no fun at all. There'll be a feast at the castle tomorrow, so forget about supplies.
Anyone for another helping? There's plenty left. Maybe even a bit for morning.
No thanks. I must wash myself down a bit.
My words exactly. We can't turn up at Trotsky tomorrow in this state.
Let's go and strip, Henry. Fellas, come and help us get out of this armor.
Are you really going to bathe here, Sir Hans? It don't look none too safe a spot to me.
Oh, don't be such an old woman, Oates. Bring some wine to warm our blood.
Yeah, we're not on a trip to the baths here, Sir Hans.
Henry's right, sir. Duty first, fun later.
God's wounds. I haven't been away from Rattay in ages. So, here, I intend to live a little. Blasted iron shirt. Oh, what a relief. I feel like I've just shed 40 pounds.
Ah, Christ. Will I ever live to see his young lordship finally grow up? He's got a good heart, but he doesn't have the sense that he was born with.
Well, responsibility will catch up with him soon enough, though.
There's more chance of me becoming a monk.